Finally, a calming run of brooding, rainy spring days here on our little homestead in New South Wales, Australia. The garden is absolutely soaking up every drop of this wonderful, wonderful rain, and we haven't had a ton. I think we've had about 5 mil overnight or in the last 2 days, but it's just enough, It's just enough to get the grass turning away from that crackling brown underfoot, turning it a bit more green, making everything just look a little more alive and definitely beautiful. And the garden is really perking up already. Some things that are growing well are the potatoes are definitely perking up and looking fantastic. Some of the kale seedlings have stuck around and I have hopes that they will keep growing. The garlic, of course, is just fleshing out. I got that in late, so I probably won't be able to harvest until Christmas or just after. And otherwise, the asparagus is just finishing up its season, and I have a couple of tomato seedlings coming up. Now, I'm giving up on the carrots for this season. Something is eating them every time I plant them. I don't have the time or energy to get out there and completely screen off the bed. So I'm going to repurpose it as a potato bed and just pack it full of as many seed potatoes as I sensibly can. And segueing along onto our lunch today, because who doesn't love a potato? Well, I am a potato's #1 fan, that's for sure. We are going to cook off some pork backstrap, and this is pork that we have harvested ourselves. I'm very happy with learning this skill. So up until this point, we have been raising animals for the table for a little while now, but we have always outsourced to a mobile butcher. And I suppose we were just lacking in the confidence and the skills to butcher an animal at home ourselves. But this pork, well, we have raised this pork. We have raised this pig from birth here on the farm. We have cared for it. We know everything that has gone into this pig, everything that it has eaten, where it has lived, and the way that it has lived. And now we were able to harvest it ourselves on our little property here. And I'm going to cook this up in the pan with some garlic, some onions, and plenty of beautiful local cream. And I just feel like this is the perfect, super simple, and yeah, it's a rich dish, but it's gone back to cold. It's feeling wintry here today, a top of 14 degrees. And why not have a nice, luxurious, rich yet simple lunch? I'm going to serve it over a mashed potato with plenty of butter as well. I'm simply slicing this backstrap into small sort of bite-sized pieces, I suppose. I'm just going to marinate it, sort of tenderize it a little with these onions, a little bit of olive oil, and some fresh thyme out of the garden. Now the thyme has been suffering a bit in the dry, I've noticed. I think I'll need to give it a little more TLC, make sure I'm getting enough water onto it. I had a huge, beautifully thriving bush of thyme, but it really is, yeah, it's on struggle street. So I'll have to get out there and really give it the care that it needs. I don't underestimate the value of my herbs. I think well established herbs really can elevate any meal, and on a budget too, because I know that when I'm shopping and I'm looking at the price of buying herbs, they're extremely expensive. And of course, when you're buying them from the supermarket or even locally, although some locally grown herbs can be beautiful, I find that the supermarket varieties really are lacking in the strength of flavor. So if there's anything you can harvest fresh, I love that they can grow from a pot on a balcony, on a veranda, anywhere. And they're generally quite pest resistant as well, in my experience. So I'm just going to get this pork fried off in the pan quite gently, but I'm searing it on both sides with the onions as well, and a teaspoon of dried garlic powder as I wait for my fresh garlic to grow out there in the garden and be harvested. And then I will add the thyme, and when I think it is nearly ready, I'll just pour in about a cup of cream. If you wanted to cut down a little on the richness, you could also do half broth and half cream, or that also saves on the amount of cream required, and it will taste just as good. And that is the whole creamy pork dish. I'm just going to let it simmer down until it has thickened beautifully. This will serve 8 people. So it is a good way to feed people, because with these rich dishes, you just don't need as much of it. And it is very filling. It will certainly keep my children and myself satiated for hours. Mashed potato. So simple and so good, isn't it? Potatoes are something that I really value, and they are wonderfully affordable as well. Now, organic potatoes, yeah, the price is higher. Oftentimes, I've just bought the supermarket potatoes because their price is the best at the time. I think about $1.25 a kilo is maybe the best price at the supermarket now. But potatoes, I'm finding the quality of them around Australia, we just seem to grow them really well. They are an excellent staple crop and great value as well. So I'm just going to serve this straight over the mash. Now, of course, something like some green beans, some broccoli. If you had the desire to serve that on the side, it would be absolutely delicious as well. Just a little chopped parsley right over the top, and that made the most delicious and simple lunch. I am so very happy with the investment into these Rhode Island Red fertile eggs that we purchased. I bought these from a seller on Gumtree. I think she was located in Victoria. She carefully packaged them for me, 2 dozen fertile eggs, and popped them in the mail, and I had them within a day or two after purchasing them. Now, I don't think that you're going to get as good an incubation rate when you're purchasing fertile eggs as if you are harvesting your own at home, of course. But they worked out really well, and I mean, the incubation costs, which are low, and the feed costs, which aren't low, aside, each chicken cost about $12. So I don't know what the market is like where you are, but being able to incubate chickens is such a cost-effective way to keep a strong and healthy flock going. Now you can see Speckles here, our speckled Sussex. She currently has 4 of her chicks still remaining. She managed to incubate 9 for herself within 2 days, even with the chicks being locked away with her in the chicken pen. They had somehow been, well, they disappeared actually. So I don't know if it's predatory birds or other predatory animals, even though she is securely locked in a pen. It just seems like chickens hatch a whole lot of chicks so that they can manage to raise a few of them. I've never known chickens to be able to raise a large flock all by themselves. So I'm happy that she's still got the 4 healthy, beautiful chicks, and we will just keep her safe as best as we can. Now, it is one of those rainy, cozy afternoons that just screams chocolate brownie. So I'm going to make this Gaps brownie. I've been making this for years, ever since the start of my health journey, which was probably, I don't know, 12 years ago, maybe 10 to 12 years ago. And GAPS, if you're not familiar, stands for Gut and Psychology Syndrome. It is kind of probably an outdated text now, I suppose, by a doctor, Natasha McBride, who wrote, she kind of tailored this diet towards helping, I think it was to help her child heal at home. And basically what this GAPS diet does is just restrict some kinds of carbohydrates specifically and sugars and things, just to help your gut to reset and nourish the healthiest microbiome that you can. So this is just a recipe that I have used on repeat because, not necessarily because it is associated with that diet, but because it is whole foods based. It is so simple and it turns out delicious. To me, it is just as good as any brownie. So it is simply honey, eggs, cocoa or cacao powder, and almond meal, and melted butter. I think that's everything. If you're dairy free, you can also substitute for coconut oil. And this is one that I love to keep up my sleeve for taking to homeschool gatherings or any kind of bring a plate meals. As long as nobody's got problems with nuts, of course, then it seems to be really well tolerated, and of course is a lovely refined sugar-free dessert. All the excitement for country kids when it rains. It has been dry for so long, which has been nice in its own way, warm and dry. But then such a huge change in the weather has my children barefoot as usual, outside seeking out any puddle they can find to splash in, making mud pies and throwing dirt bombs and mud bombs at the nearest tree. It is so messy in its way once it rains and a rainy season sets in. You find that you can never get the floors clean with the constant coming and going and fun of the children. But of course, I would never complain about such a thing. I'm always so happy that they are entertaining themselves for any length of time. And just having that change in weather really makes it easy for them to do so. It just entices them outside. And of course, there's nothing quite like watching your water tank fill a little bit out there. Now both the cows are doing well. We've got Creamy back and secure in our paddock. She has been for a wander, but she's back again. The routine with our pigs now is that we let them out to free range at some point in the day, generally about midday, from their pen. And they are so well behaved and mannerly. They come back for dinner. They know the routine and they do not stray or wander. So just to top off a creamy day today, we are going to use a little more of that cream. I'm whipping it up here with some maple syrup, and I'm going to serve this brownie just with a little cream on the side because I do think that is my favorite indulgent combination. It's like a dark chocolatey cake with a light, fluffy, sweet cream on the side. How about yourself? Do you love chocolate with cream? I just find it so good. The only thing missing on this afternoon tea was maybe a fresh strawberry right on top. And on this cool and rainy day, it was absolutely calling out for a hot cup of coffee as well. For myself, I have this decaf. I'm so sensitive to caffeine. It makes me roll my own eyes in frustration. But now and then, I can definitely tolerate a decaf. And there's something I find so charming about making coffee in the old-fashioned way in a pot on the stove. I just never really did get along with fancy coffee machines. I find that they seem to have this inbuilt expiration date, like they're just planning to cause me trouble or to stop working altogether or just be hard to clean out or hard to maintain, whereas I know that my simple trusty pot on the stove is never going to let me down. It will always be there to make a lovely hot drink for me, no matter what it is. Thanks for keeping me company today. I hope you're having a great day and a great week wherever you're watching from. If you enjoy my content, please do like, subscribe, or comment. I do love reading your comments. And try to use the hype button if you're able. It really does help my videos to reach a wider audience. See you next time. Bye.